Hey, it's Bronco from Apex Vaulting. Sorry again, last week I skipped. It was a little bit of a busy week and kind of trying to think about things to talk about. Lots of different angles and perspectives and ideas I do want to speak about. But this week I really got a great idea because I had a conversation with one of my coaches last night at the end of sessions on Sunday. And we were kind of reflecting on a lot of things and reflecting on his time jumping because he had just graduated college last year. So now, it's like real life. And he said something that I thought was very, very honest, very truthful, and correct. And it's something that I hope everyone thinks about and feels when they reflect on their pole vaulting. And he said to me the following. He said what he values the most is not how high he jumped, but all the skills he learned while vaulting. Let me say that one more time. What he valued the most from his time pole vaulting was not how high he jumped, but all the skills he learned while vaulting. Some people may be hearing this and maybe not understanding what I'm talking about, saying, well, the skill of takeoff, the skill of swinging, turning, why does he value that so much? What is he going to do with that with the rest of his life? I'm not talking about the hard skills of the vault. I'm not talking about how to carry a pole. I'm not talking about how to plant the pole. What he was talking about was the soft skills. And, he started to talk about it more, and he said, because he worked so hard in the vault, he learned so much. Had he just, pursued the vault in a casual way, he said he wouldn't have learned as much. But because he poured so much effort and gave so much of himself to the vault, he learned all these soft skills like determination, grit, work ethic, discipline. All these skills came. And now he could apply those skills to the rest of his life. And one of the skills that we talked about, and one of the things that you learn in this process of working hard, right? And this is why I'm such a big preacher of, you've got to work hard. You've got to have discipline. You've got to be able to be consistent in training. We talked about this idea, when you work really, really hard, you have to learn how to handle being vulnerable. Because when you pour all your effort into something, now you can't tell people, wow, I wasn't even trying hard. I could do better, No, you're doing everything you can. And that leaves you vulnerable. Now you might have to look after a performance and be like, wow, I'm really not as good as I thought I was. Now, obviously, you have to go back and think about what could you have done better, or what could you improve. Is it technique? Is it training? Is it sleep? Whatever. You're gonna leave no stone unturned. But it is vulnerable, and also when you really care and when you're really trying your best, it leaves you in a vulnerable spot because a lot of people are going to have opinions. Your parents may have an opinion. Your coach may have an opinion. Other coaches may have an opinion. Other athletes and competitors may have opinions. You're doing it the wrong way. You should do it more like this. Have you tried that? And so you're very vulnerable. When you're trying your best, you're doing everything the way you're supposed to. And this also ties in with discernment. I was just talking to another coach about this topic, but when you use your discernment and you're really trying to figure out the best way possible to do something, you learn how to handle being vulnerable and also learn not to care what other people think, not to care what other people say. Let's say, for example, your goal is to set the school record, whatever school you're at, college, high school, whatever. And a lot of people, man, that's really hard. I don't know if you could do that. And in the beginning, you obviously can't because you're not the school record holder. But you want to try. You want to give it your best effort. At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter if you break the record, but you're going to learn a lot about yourself. And you're going to learn that although you've put yourself in that vulnerable spot because you have this lofty goal, that you're going to learn not to listen to the naysayers. It doesn't matter. Even if people are saying negative things about you, even if people are doubting you, they don't believe in you, you can still push forward. That does not kill your motivation. That does not kill your discipline. That does not kill your consistency in your effort. You don't allow others to impact what you feel is right for you. I think that's a tremendous skill. That's something that we really need to have athletes understand. This is why also, and I may have mentioned this in one of the prior videos, but one of the things I always tell athletes is listen, you're going to fail. There's going to be difficulties. If not, you're not doing something that's challenging enough. I gave someone an example today. I was like, look, I could just take you to freshman meets and you'll win all the freshman meets in the area, but that's not challenging. We need to do things where we do fail, where we do struggle, and that pushes us to work harder and really find out our true best. Want to push ourselves to that limit. So we're going to fail in that process. And I, as your coach, whether you know height, you PR, and everything in between, I'm going to be there, and it's okay. Because I'm trying to give people that courage to be vulnerable, try something that they might fail at, whether that's like opening a little bit higher, trying out a different pole, trying a drill that's very difficult. We need to, as people, have the confidence to be vulnerable, to stand up against the naysayers. This is a very, very important skill. So I love the conversation I had, last night with one of my coaches. I think it is such an important takeaway from his experience in the vault. He said, how high I jumped is not what I really value from my experience vaulting. What I value is what I've learned and the hard work that I put in because of all the skills that I got from that experience. And that's what we need to continue to push in our athletes, right? Yes, pole vault is fun. I enjoy it. All my athletes enjoy it. We have adult clientele in here that come in. It's their way of staying in shape, and they love the community. But what we need to take away from pole vault are these big skills that we need throughout our entire lives. And we have to always chime in and remind people of that. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I'll try my best to do another one next week. Have a good week, everybody.